Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. So today's video is going to be my goodbye summer, hello fall perfume haul. All of the fragrances but 3 I did purchase myself. There were 3 fragrances that were sent to me by a new fragrance discounter that I recently discovered after they reached out to me, and that is BEAUTYLIV. So I want to go over the company as well as the 3 fragrances that they sent to me, but I am going to be going into the house because I did pick 3 fragrances from a specific house, and then I purchased some more myself. I'm going to go over the house in more detail in a later video. So we have a lot to go over, so let's go ahead and get into the list. Okay, so I'm gonna go over what I found to be more everyday summer fragrances first, and then I'm gonna go into the fragrances that I feel I'm gonna enjoy more around fall time. Now, of course, some of these aren't specific to fall, but you guys know that I like to set a tone, and a lot of the fragrances that I'm going to go over in the later part of the video give me more fall time vibes. So the first one I'm going to go over was a blind buy fail, and that is a Drop the Issei by Issei Miyake. Now this fragrance is actually a really nice fragrance. I enjoy it more on the card, and I also enjoy it more in the opening, but it's one that was a scrubber for me. This fragrance is kind of your fresh, kind of linen, clean linen fragrance. It's got almond milk, lilac, there's musk, vanilla. When I read all the notes, it's one that I thought I would really enjoy, but I'm learning that that kind of clean linen scent, while I don't mind having that in my collection, it can't be overly like detergent, and I don't want a lot of it. I recently picked up Pure Extreme by AMBRE, and that one's a little bit more softer. It's got that kind of clean linen scent without being overly clean linen. This one, I really do pick up like a nuttiness from the almond milk, but I don't know if it's the solar notes that are in here or the lilac itself. This comes off very kind of detergent smelling, and it's one that I did end up scrubbing off both times that I tested it out. Now, I was able to work pretty much the whole day with this on, so it did have pretty good performance. It lasted pretty much my full work day, about 6 or 7 hours, and then I didn't care for the scent anymore, so I did go ahead and scrub this one off. I was thinking of trying it out, but it's just not my kind of scent profile, so it is one that you'll probably see in a future declutter, because this wasn't a blind buy success. But again, that is a Drop the Issei by Issei Miyake. Okay, then next we're gonna go over the fragrances that I picked up from BEAUTYLIV. Now BEAUTYLIV is like a beauty discounter. They don't only do fragrance, they have skincare, makeup. So I hadn't heard from them until they had reached out to me and asked if they can send me fragrances. They gave me kind of a budget, and I picked out 3 that stayed within that budget. I did talk about this house and say that they're not my style. They're not what I'm drawn to. That is the house of Juliet Has a Gun. And I mean, I was never really drawn to this house. I did test out Not a Perfume a while ago, and then recently I had saw, whose video? The fragrance guy, and the way he talked about Juliet Has a Gun made me want to revisit the house. So I picked up the sample set from Sephora, and I ended up falling in love with the house. But let me go ahead and go over the ones that they sent me. I asked for Sunny Side Up and Moscow Mule. Now they didn't have Moscow Mule or Sunny Side Up. They were low stock, so I ended up getting Moscow Mule from another discounter. This is one I tested and fell in love with. They sent me Vanilla Vibes. This is actually a nice one, but it's very redundant in my collection, and I'll go over again this house a little bit more. They sent me Lady Vengeance, and I'm not loving this one. It's kind of redundant, and it smells a little bit more on the vintage side. And then I did pick up Not a Perfume, Moscow Mule, Pear Ink. I ended up purchasing Magnolia Bliss. Now Magnolia Bliss is a new release, and and when I was searching through their site, they hadn't released this one yet. And then when I picked out the 3, I did see this one a week later, and I went ahead and had my mom purchase this one. Since they were a company that I've never heard of or worked with, I wanted to see how they treated their customers. So my mom went ahead and purchased this. My mom got the shipment no problem, got it less than 5 days. With any kind of discounter, you kind of have to go at your own risk, and I want to be 100% with you guys. I hadn't heard of them until they reached out to me, but I feel really good about this one. So I'm going to leave all their information below. Go ahead and check them out. I think they're a great discounter to have in your rotation. I'm not exclusive to any discounter. I look up fragrance, and whoever has it the cheapest, that's who I'm going to go with. When I was looking up Magnolia Bliss, no discounter had it yet. I'm sure that it's slowly going to make its way to discounters. If it hasn't already, I've already had this fragrance for almost a month now. This is by far my favorite from the Juliet Has a Gun line. And this will kind of lead me into my fall fragrances, because this to me is more of an everyday year-round fragrance, but also a really nice one for summer, especially like the high heat of summer. This one is gorgeous. This is kind of your shampoo-y, kind of body splash-esque fragrance. Now, of course, this has a little bit more going on to it. This one has, I believe it's ginger, giving it kind of a zestiness and a little bit of a spicy kick to it. Then there's magnolia, there's nectarine, so this has kind of a juicy tartness to it. If you like kind of those shampoo-y, fruity kind of floral fragrances, I would say check out Magnolia Bliss. This is beautiful. Now we're gonna go ahead and get into my fall fragrances. Now the first one I'm gonna bring up, I would say is definitely more year-round, but I'm actually looking forward to testing this one out in fall when the humidity is a little bit better, because I didn't care about the dry down. But this is Lancome's Idole Nectar, and I don't know what fruit is in here because they do not list like peach or pear, but that's what I'm getting from this fragrance. So for me, the opening is everything. This is a much fruitier, juicier Lancome Idole. You get the Lancome Idole DNA. You get that kind of, again, that shampoo-y kind of fresh, musky rose. But this one has something kind of like Magnolia Bliss. I feel like this one has nectarine or a peach. Something kind of tart and mouth-watering. But I only saw rose, caramel, and popcorn. Now, when this scent dries down, that's where I'm kind of on the fence about. I'm wondering if maybe in the high heat, the popcorn note comes off a little dusty on my skin, which salty notes tend to go one of two ways. They either pull salty or dusty. And to me, the popcorn is more of a salty note than I would say popcorn. Like, I don't smell this and think of popcorn. It did intrigue me. I thought I was gonna get something kind of like Shetty by Miss Dior with that caramel and the popcorn, but I don't really get caramel or popcorn. I get something kind of sweet, which to me, the sweetness is kind of coming from the caramel, but it's not like a thick kind of gourmand caramel. And then the popcorn note is coming off a little bit more salty and coming off a little bit more dusty in the high heat. So I am looking forward to revisiting this one in fall to see if maybe the popcorn pulls a little differently, because I do find this one to be a really nice flanker. It's actually probably my second favorite of the flanker. I do want to follow this up with this or that, but I want to test it out a little bit more in fall to see if maybe that popcorn note comes off less dusty and a little bit more salty. But again, that is Lancome's Idole Nectar, and it comes in this really pretty kind of pink peach color. Very nice bottle. Okay, another kind of fall scent. To me, this is another one that's maybe summer nights and again fall, but that is Alien Goddess Intense. Now it does have like coconut in here, but I don't really get the coconut too much in here. This one does smell more like Alien than the original Goddess, because I know a lot of people had complained about that, so I wonder if they heard people's complaints, because this one definitely has the alien DNA. But there is something kind of grapey in this one. This has like a grape opening to my nose, and whereas Alien, the jasmine in Alien to me is more of a clean jasmine, the jasmine in here is a little bit more indolic. Like it opens up with a little bit more of a carnal indolic jasmine with like a slight grapiness, which I'm not sure where that's coming from. I know tuberose tends to do that, but I do not see tuberose in the notes. But it has kind of that grape opening, which I know some people get the grape in the original Alien, but I never did. I get a lot of what people get when they describe Alien and this than I do in Alien. Like I would always hear people say that the jasmine in Alien was indolic. I didn't get that. I got more of a clean jasmine. I would hear some people say that it had like a grapiness. I never got that, but I get it in this one. So this one does have the Alien DNA, but it's a little bit sweeter. For me, it comes off more vanilla than it does coconut. Like I don't get too much of the coconut in this one, so I'm wondering if in fall maybe I'll pick up the coconut a little bit more. To me, this smells more like a kind of grape, slightly indolic Alien with like a very high dose of vanilla, and it's a little bit warm and amber. So this one has coconut, bergamot, jasmine, jasmine tea, vanilla, benzoin, and cashmere wood. Now I do like this one more than the original Alien Goddess. That one, I think it was Tiffany who said it had kind of like a baby wipe kind of scent to it, and I could not unsmell that when she had said it. I do want to mix them because I feel like I pick up a little bit more coconut in that one, but it's more like coconut water. But I'm wondering if maybe mixed I'll like them more. So I'm going to play with them and I'll follow this one up. I didn't care for it in the summertime. I found that I could mix another coconut scent, maybe Utopia with Alien, and get more of a beachy Alien than this one. So it's not, I'm glad I got to travel. So I'll play with it a little bit more and follow it up. Okay, then next we have Libre Le Parfum. And if you like Libre, you're probably going to like this one. This one to me is got a little bit from the original, a little bit from the Intense, and then an added spiciness. So this one has the Libre DNA, but to me I really get the lavender in this one, kind of like in the original. To me, the Intense, they took down the lavender, but I get it a lot in this one. This opens up more lavender heavy and less citrus heavy than the original. And then when it settles down, it becomes kind of warm spicy from the saffron, and you get kind of the sweet vanilla and the tonka that you get from the Intense. So to me, this is a little bit of the original and the Intense, and then they made it a little bit more bolder with kind of that saffron, a little bit more spicy kick. It's got a little bit more of a masculine edge to it. I think it's going to be gorgeous for fall, and I really enjoy this one. This does smell a lot like the other flankers, but if you want something a little bit more warm, spicy, I would say check this one out. If you don't like this line, I would say stay away from it because it does smell like Libre. It's just got a little bit more of a zesty, spicy kick. I believe this one also has ginger. So now there is honey in the notes for this one, but I don't really get honey in this scent like I do like with my Scandal fragrances. If anything, the honey might add kind of a sweetness to this one, but is blended. Like I find the leaf line to be blended very well, so I don't really get the honey note that's in here. But the vanilla and the tonka is a little bit more sweeter like it is in the Intense, and then this one to me has the lavender a little bit more like the original, and the opening is not as citrus heavy as the original. It opens up a little bit more zingy and zesty from like the ginger. So I think this is a really nice flanker. I do own all of them in this 30 ml, but I think this is a nice addition. If you don't like the Libre fragrances, I don't think you'll like this one, because this smells like the original and the Intense. Had a baby and had a little bit more, you add a little bit more like saffron and a little bit more zest with the ginger. Again, I don't really get the honey that's in here. So a very beautiful one, I think, especially for fall time. And again, that's Libre Le Parfum. All right, and then next we have Kayali's Love Fest Burning Cherry. And this was a fragrance that I had trouble getting. So I purchased this as soon as it came out, or at least I thought I purchased it as soon as it came out. I had ordered the mini from Sephora, which they had a glitch. They showed the mini, but they were actually sending out the travel. So when I saw the switch, I knew I was gonna send it back. Like, I wasn't gonna open it and review it and send it back. So before I could even open my travel, I had sent that one back and was waiting for my large bottle. But I never got my email saying that it was on its way, but I saw my points were taken out and my discount was applied. So I figured maybe they just forgot to send out the email that it was on its way. After a week, because I know that when I order Kayali fragrances, they get to me right away, I reached out to customer service and I'm like, hey, I haven't gotten my fragrance, but I see my discount was applied. Long story short, my discount and my fragrance didn't go through. My discount was turned into like a promotional code, because that's how they don't add it back. They just give you a code to use, and I had to reorder it. But I was waiting a whole week thinking it was on its way. So I ordered this one, got it. Then I saw the mini and I picked up the mini, and then my beautiful friend Rebecca actually got me the travel. So this fragrance I know is compared to Tom Ford's Lost Cherry. And I feel like a lot of these fragrances open up the same. But this to me reminds me more of Invite Only by Kayali. This to me is almost like a flanker to that one. They have a lot of similarities, but I would say this is Kayali's fun EDC loving sister, I would say, whereas Invite Only is a little bit more sexy. It's got a little bit more going on to it. It's actually one that I didn't get on with that much. This one is more young, fun, and playful. To me, they stripped away the notes that I didn't care for in that one, and then you got this one. I get more of the cherry. It comes off a little boozy, like cherry tends to come off. To my nose, it's very juicy and red. And then you do get a smokiness, but it's not like, if you think of By the Fireplace, it's more of like an incense kind of smoke. A little bit more warm, spicy. And that's probably coming from the Palo Santo. And then this does have kind of a woody base. I will say, for those who compare it to Tom Ford's Lost Cherry, I find that the cherry note in here lasts a lot longer than it does in Tom Ford's Lost Cherry. I think the name for Tom Ford is perfect, because after the 30-minute mark, you do lose the cherry note. Most cherry fragrances, that cherry note does leave the top. I would love if a fragrance was made with a cherry note that kind of stuck out through the life of it, but like my Dancing Roses, this one, Tom Ford's Lost Cherry, they all have the cherry at the top and then it goes away. So it does go away, and then you're left more with like a kind of sweet, warm, spicy, woody base. But this has notes of burning cherry, raspberry, praline, Palo Santo, guaiac wood, and patchouli. I don't really get the patchouli in here. I do get that woody base. But yeah, to me, if I were gonna compare this to any fragrance, I would say it has touches of Invite Only, Amber Invite Only by Kayali. For me, they're more comparable. They're from the same house. They both have a thing. Than to me, Tom Ford's Lost Cherry. They open similar. Very beautiful. Looking forward to wearing this one for fall. This to me has more fall time vibes. And what I like about this one is it's not loud or too much, so I can wear this in the Florida heat. So again, that is Kayali's Love Fest Burning Cherry. Okay, and the last fragrance, It's actually one I'm very excited to have. And it's actually my scent of the day, so we're just gonna go ahead and touch up. But that is Soleil Vibrant by Lancome. And look at this bottle, my goodness. So we're gonna touch up, but I do want to put the original on this side because I don't find these to be similar. I mean, they're a little similar in that they're both kind of bright sunshine in a bottle kind of fragrances, but they're different. Yeah, I do find Soleil by Lancome to be a little bit more unique. It's got a little bit more going on to it, and to me this is the more safer of the two. This is more of your fruity, sweet, vanilla white floral scent. It doesn't smell like anything I have in my collection, but it is a little more mainstream in my opinion. Very likable and one that you could wear year round. I do find this one to be a touch more fall, even though I find this one to be fall as well, because this has a little bit more warmth to it and it is a little bit more vibrant, kind of like the name would imply. But they don't smell the same. Even looking at the notes, I mean, I feel like they both have pear, because I know that one has pear, and I do get the pear in this one, but I remember looking at the notes side by side and they were a little different. So the new Vibrant has pear, bergamot essence, clementine, jasmine sambac, orange blossom, saffron, vanilla bourbon, and cedarwood essence. And you really do get the vanilla bourbon, but it's not sickeningly sweet. I feel like the other notes kind of balance this one out. And then in the original, there's bitter almond, cardamom, mandarin, cafe latte, jasmine, pear, musk, pink praline, and sandalwood. So they have similarities. They're both like kind of warm, spicy, white floral fragrances, but I feel like there's a little bit more going on to Soleil by Lancome. And then this one is a little bit more of that warm, kind of fruity, white floral vanilla fragrance. A little bit more of a safer blind buy. This one on the Lancome site was $170. Then I saw it at Harrods for, I think it was like $140, $150 with the shipping to the US. But I was able to find it for $100, right under $100 at the French perfume site that I've shopped with. Now, they're not easy to shop with. It's a French site, and even when you switch to English, it's very hard with the confirmation, so you do run a risk of not understanding. It's a site that I've ordered from already 3 or 4 times and I haven't had an issue, but again, it's French. So if they still have this fragrance, I'll have it linked down below. But this to me is a beautiful addition. I do prefer the original, but this one is just as lovely. And again, that is Soleil Vibrant by Lancome. The bottle is just gorgeous. This time you get a necklace. I'll probably keep my bottle dressed up, but you do get this beautiful necklace, and then the bottle has got this beautiful ombre. I am going to be doing more of this or that, so I am going to test these out more side by side and really give you an in-depth review on both of these. I do have 2 more fragrances coming, but they didn't make it in time for the video. I'm gonna pop them in just because they were supposed to be in this video. I got the Sweet Dreams and Cream Chiffon fragrance from House of Sillage. They had an amazing sale over Labor Day. Both fragrances were 40% off and you got a lot of freebies. So I did go ahead and pick up those 2 fragrances and I'll talk about them. I probably won't do another haul until closer to the holidays. So I'm probably gonna just talk about those 2 together in another video. So that is my goodbye summer, hello fall perfume haul. Honestly, this haul was a pretty good success. There were a few from BEAUTYLIV that didn't work out, and again, I'll go over that in more detail in the Juliet Has a Gun perfume house review that I'm going to be putting together. But thank you, BEAUTYLIV, for thinking of me and reaching out to me. It's definitely a fragrance discounter that I am going to be again using. And then Another one that didn't work out, but I still think it's a lovely scent, is a drop of DEC. Let me know in the comments below, do you guys have any of these fragrances? What are your thoughts on them? But that will do it for today's video. I hope you liked it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye guys.